Hey guys, it's was doomed to fail. I know I haven't uploaded in a long time. I've just been super busy with work and God life, you know how it is. But anyways, with all the talk about the new Citizen Con and being 2 days, that got me thinking. And in my opinion, I could be wrong and just grasping, but that makes me think one of two things: either they're getting ready to release Squadron 42, which would be super sick, or they're getting ready to release Pyro, which would also be super sick. As you can tell from the name of the video, though, I'm going to be talking about Pyro. And more specifically, what I want in Pyro is in like what my perfect vision of the system will be. Whether that's best for the game or what they'll do, probably not the same, but let's get into it. So first off, I really want them to stick to just one one station, being Ruin Station. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure I saw on like some Inside Star Citizens or something that they were working on like making other places, other stations or somethings that you could refuel at, and I don't really want that because I think it'd be really cool if you had like fuel was just super scarce and it was something you had to fight over and you have to go to this one lawless station just to get it. And I just think that'll cause a much cooler dynamic instead of like just going wherever to get fuel. Hopefully they keep it sparse though if they don't do one, so it is like a choke point almost of player interaction and combat, because the system's gonna be it's a big system and I don't want it to feel empty. I want it to feel like, you know, a real pirate system where you gotta watch your back. Next off, I want a lot of valuable things that you can gather in Pyro, be it like minables or I don't know, something else that you can't really sell in Pyro. Like maybe you can sell it for a little bit of money, but to make a lot of money on it, you have to go back into Stanton. Along with that, you know, I also want the vice versa of stuff that you bring from Stanton into Pyro that sells a lot in Pyro. And the reason I want this is because I think it will force people to go through that jump gate, and I'm hoping that the jump gate is a really like hot spot of PvP. I want there to be like a hard time getting in and out of the systems. Branching off with that though, I do think that the Stanton side of the jump gate should be just protected with security. That way it's hard for pirates to get out of Pyro into Stanton, because you know, Stanton, I believe, once and again I could be wrong, but I believe it acts as a bridge between the Western and Eastern Empire, and then because of that it's kind of like a trade central. And it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't protect it knowing that there's a pirate system one jump away. It would just make sense if the UEE had that. And, you know, if it's going to be hard for cargo runners and miners to get into Pyro because they have to worry about pirates, it should be hard for the pirates to get into Stanton because they have to worry about security. And I also just think, as a pirate player myself, it'd be kind of boring if I can just easily transfer between them. Like I want going in between systems to be a pretty big deal that you have to prepare for and, you know, be ready for. You can't just like nilly-willy go through and be like, oh cool, I'm in a different system now. Alright, so next, this is coming into like things, more of like things that I want to be added into the game. I want to see a medical ship, which I know we already have some, like the Cutlass Red and the Pisces, but I really want to see like a medical ship with, I think it's tier 1 beds. I always get the tiers wrong. I don't know if, no, it's tier 3, right? Tier 3 is like the highest tier that you can spot. Whatever tier it is, I want some ship with the highest tier med bed that you can spawn in. First off, I'm thinking like Apollo, because I know we already have like some ships you can spawn in, be it the 890 and the Carrack, but those are only tier 2 med beds, and I just want different ships you can spawn in besides the Carrack and the 890, because I don't want to see, like, obviously there's going to be quite a bit of them in Pyro because they're just bigger ships that have more stuff and hangars, but I don't want Pyro to just be a cluster of 890s and Carracks going around. There needs to be some diverse diverse ships in there. And I also think, you know, with the Apollo, for example, that would lead to some more cooler medical gameplay, because, you know, like if you get wounded or something and you're way out in Pyro and the jump gate's so far, and like maybe you didn't bring enough fuel to get to that jump gate because you're planning on pirating someone for it, or who knows what. I think that'd be a cool addition. Next, I'd like to see a different ship other than, once and again, the 890 and Carrack that can carry other ships like light fighters, although the Carrack can't really carry light fighters, just the 890. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, they were working on, what was it, the RSI something. I'm spacing on the name now. Darn it, what? The Polaris, I think it was, that ship with the hangar, so that's a good step. Ideally, I'd like to see a Kraken. Probably not gonna happen though, because, you know, that's a lot of work to put into a ship that big, and it'll be then the only capital ship, I guess, besides the 890, but I don't really see the 890 as a capital, more as a weird hybrid. That'd be cool though, just that way you can ferry around your smaller vehicles and whatnot. I would also like to see some ship with the refinery in it. I don't really care what ship, just a refinery. That way you can kind of like have your fleet and you can like go around with your friends. You can bring a mining ship to maybe mine some quantum, then refine it, and then use that to just keep going and stay out in the black as long as possible. Next thing that I'd really like, and I highly doubt they're gonna add, is I don't want you to just be able to server hop if you have cargo. And why I say this is because I want that jump gate to be a point of interest, and if everybody in chat is going off, oh, warning, there's pirates at the jump gate, and people just server hop, that kind of ruins the fun of it. That ruins, in my opinion, the purpose of the game. You shouldn't just be able to server hop to avoid something. Feel free to disagree with me with all of this stuff, of course, but I would really like that. And then the last and final thing that I would like to see with, you know, this is more on if they do make it so you can refuel at multiple points, which obviously I'd prefer they didn't have, but I think they're gonna do that. So if they do have that, I'd like to see these points. No armistice zone, of course, because that once and again just means another place you can hide and be safe, which doesn't feel like fits Pyro's vibe. So I want that, and I want you to be able to physically take over. Like, I want player groups to be able to come in, take over these these locations and control them. And through players doing that, I think it'd be cool if this sort of like power vacuum, even though it wouldn't really be a vacuum because the players would be there, but I'd like to see the pirate gangs and just the gangs of Pyro join in and start fighting. So not only are you fighting off the people already inhabiting these places, but now you got to deal with all these gangs coming in. I think that'll just lead to cool gameplay, and it'll be really meaningful gameplay too, because if you and your group have control of a refueling area, then that's just a huge advantage. You can start charging people to refuel. You can just keep it to yourself and not have to go to other places and have a quote-unquote safe space. I say safe space because you'd be controlling it, but obviously other people would still be able to come kill you. And yeah, I just think that'd be really cool. Anyways, that probably sums up all of like the main things I want to see in Pyro. I tried to keep more of these things like that could realistically come out. Obviously, if I could get everything, I would like to see a lot more. I'd like to see like every single big ship, the Orion, all that flushed out. But this was more of like a somewhat realistic expectations. You know, maybe some of them aren't as realistic, but I think they're all reasonable. Whether they'll happen or not, who knows. Anyways, you guys have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Oui, je sais, oui.